Welcome back to another episode of NFT Catcher Podcast. We'd like to remind everybody that nothing on the show is meant as financial advice, and to please do your own research. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Now the subject is NFTs.
They're known as non-fungible tokens, or NFTs.
NFTs are exploding in popularity.
This is a technology that will forever change the way people interact.
So it is happening whether you understand it and like it or not.
This phenomenon is moving. The digital.
You have now joined Jenny from the blockchain and Michael Keene on the NFT Catcher Podcast.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the NFT Catcher Podcast with me, Jenny from the blockchain, and my co-host, Michael Keene. Today's interview, we have CryptoNovo joining us, NFT OG, and honestly, probably the most famous crypto punk with a clown nose. And what is that? What would you consider that hat? Like a beanie? Knit beanie?
Welcome, all my aliens, apes, and zombies. It's a tassel hat, and I think
Tassel hat. Okay.
Miss Clown Nose up until Beeple just got one, so he might outrank me now.
Still, I feel like you're still the most famous.
Speaking of Beeple, first of all, I can't believe we have Novo on today. You saw Beeple's post 6 hours ago. I can only imagine.
Yo, top left corner, that was
dude.
Concept.
Yeah, the legend Concept. We love Concept.
That's right. Part of the Ghost Gang up there with Mumbot.
Yeah, dude.
Man, I couldn't believe my eyes when I had like five texts like right in a row.
And really. You're like, people just fucking put your punk.
Well, that actually,
that Jenny's looking for it now. Jenny didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm like, wow. Like, I'm
what are
looking
they
at
talking about?
That was actually a mini music video Concept. What I told him to do is when he was, by the way, we're just like hopping right into it.
Yeah.
But he was making, he was trying to turn my CryptoPunk into a zombie. And what I did is I told him, like, well, every time just like save like an image and just send it and I'll just like tweet it out. So then whatever, 60, 80, 40 images later, and each one he took like an hour. So, he spent like, I don't know how many hours on it. And it showed the time lapse of it, like kind of like disintegrating, decomposing per se into a zombie. And then we reached out to Six at I am Six with the number 6 before the I and the X. And he put some lyrics to it. And it was all about aliens, apes, and zombies for CryptoPunks. And song pretty much wrote itself because the guy's a lyrical genius mixed on top of, the conceptual art of Concept. And it's just one of those things that just makes the community what the community is people just being creative and having fun with each other. And then all of a sudden it's popped up on a Beeple tweet, telling people to toss in their derivatives. Let's make a party out of these CryptoPunks and the derivatives. And it's actually a huge part of the ecosystem. It's a way of people trying to level up or express their art in different formats that I've seen from the beginning. And it's awesome to have that organic circulation of people not only expressing in different ways of art, if it's music or if it's, traditional art, digital art, AI art, whatever it may be, and put it towards some common cause. And it was my CryptoPunk way back in the day in October. So it was pretty cool. And to see where it formatted all the way to seeing it be seen by people and posted on one of his tweets is pretty cool.
Pretty badass. Are you going to go to the party?
That's the plan, my man. That is the plan.
Amazing.
I don't know if I'll be making it out to Hong Kong. That's gonna be difficult to pull that. But the Carolinas, I think that might be something on the El Calendario.
Yeah, that looks really cool. And you could claim a ticket with your CryptoPunk and also it's all good. And a +1. Hint. Joking.
Well,
I'm only joking, bro.
Bring Michael.
Here's actually the real key on it. It's just like, I approached the wife about it, like, there's this event and
Right.
I'm like, you want to, I have a +1, you want to come? And she's like, well, maybe. I'm like, oh, okay. So there might be a Mrs. CryptoNovo,
Beautiful, amazing.
Has she ever been to an event before, like an NFT event?
No, she hasn't.
So this will be her first one.
Comic-Cons and stuff. Like I'll dress up for Comic-Cons and stuff, but not as my CryptoPunk. But yeah, this might be her first NFT.
That would be a fun one because you're gonna walk in like a superstar since you're part of the art display. You know,
we're all superstars there. Because
well, you're a little more of a star.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw you at the other block party in Miami, I was low key like, oh my God, like CryptoNovo. And I don't know if you remember our interaction, but it was pretty brief. But I definitely asked for your picture. I was like, I need you in my vlog. Like, I mean, you have the whole, like, what is it called? The digital face mask of your CryptoPunk, which I think is really cool. And then you have like the backpack and like you're just all decked out, which I think is awesome because there's really not that many people that are like all decked out like that. So it's always cool to see in person.
Here's the secret. All right. Like I'm not cool. Like, believe it or not, I'm not a cool dude at all. But young people are cool. So like when I'm like, hey, what should I wear? I go to my son, and he's just like, this looks cool. That looks cool. He's the one that picked out my CryptoPunk. There's a choice of a bunch of 5 traits. And I'm like, which one of these 5 traits should we purchase? And he picked out this one. And I asked him why, and he says, because it's the coolest. And behind that, he didn't even know it was a female. Tassel hats are of the female gender. Not that it matters. I always say aliens, apes, and zombies because I want to include everyone. And when I told him as a female, the next day or a couple of days after, he goes, I don't care. It's still the coolest. And I asked him why. It's like the colors. It has the green and the blue and the tassel hat. It has a couple shades of purple, 3 difference in the big shades, the red clown nose. It actually has a hidden trait. It has a purple earring. I don't know that those of you at home can't see it, but I actually have a purple earring behind the ear over there. And then it actually has a visible hidden trait in the black lipstick. And a lot of people oversee the black lipstick as a CryptoPunk trait. So I think there's like 166 5 attributes out there. So like that's another rarity aspect that kind of goes in the hierarchy of making things collectible in the NFT world. And that was like one thing, like, Michael, you and I like jammed on like super back in the day, like almost Arrow 1 is just like, find the stats that weren't even posted within stats, like finding those hidden traits or those hidden stats to make something that a little bit more set you apart collectible within, whatever it was we were digging into on those NBA Top Shot was one for sure.
Okay. Well, you're not talking about Vivi, are you?
Yeah, that was another one. Yep.
Yeah, those early days, man. I remember that we did that called Me, You, VGF, and Mark, who we actually spoke to recently.
That's right.
Yeah, dude. And that was the first time. You still have your AR avatar on right now. That call was the first time I was ever on a call with somebody. This is very expressive, too. The one you have on now is really good. Look at that mouse going. Oh, my God. That's wild.
You can get it to blink and stuff and, I don't know, do other things.
Yeah.
The first eras of it, I don't know, this might be generation 4 or 5. It was pretty blocky. I mean, it was almost like Gumby.
Yeah. It was
Very
definitely different. This is nice, man.
So for those of you listening at home right now, I have an AR filter on, and the AR filter is kind of what it's been my identity. It's been my shadow. It's my reflection since the beginning of getting my CryptoPunk. Very shortly after getting it, I had an AR filter, and I got it to stay anonymous in the space because I was a teacher. And, sometimes you're up on stage with Marshmello or, dancing with Nania and Pussy Riot. And, those separations, not all parents would maybe approve of that if their teachers up there doing those things. But it's not like I was being inappropriate in any aspect. I was just enjoying myself like any other adult there. And I just wanted to keep that kind of separate because I don't need to have any interference, educating the youth of America. And, but at the same time, being able to still network and broadcast and talk about NFTs, Web3, and still make those, social connections, which are, extremely important, especially in this Web3 world where things change so fast. You gotta keep up with your friends, and sometimes it is almost like live business meetings or, podcasts here on the NFT Catcher. So it's good catching up with you guys again.
How many people know like your actual identity, like your name, what you actually look like, and your online identity as CryptoNovo?
My wife, my niece, probably like my inner circle of family, which is probably about 12 people. Beskar X, which his real name is actually Keith Stiljacek. He's doxxed. He works for for a large advertising agency. And it was like one of those things where he and I, best friends since third grade, like best friends, like pretty much outside of living a couple miles from each other. He went to a different college than I for 4 years, but other than that, within a couple miles, and we've always been, I don't know, making movies. We won 48-hour film contest in Chicago. He directed it and all that stuff, but it was just like cool things like that. We've always just done. We've had a passion for music. My Twitter handle is CryptoNovo 311 for 311 for the band. Influential band that we've seen dozens, plural, like close to 50 times, and very positive band, and a thing where you can get out of the house and get in the mosh pit and get knocked down, but someone will pick you up and you just cheer and have a fun time and sing the music together. And those are little tidbits that I try to interlock within my broadcasts when I'm streaming. At the end of it, I say, stay positive and love life. That's what Nick Hexum, the lead singer of 311, says at the end of his shows, but he says, stay positive and love your life. But I say, just love life in general. And there's little, for instances that I tie into my shows that are little nods that, maybe true 311 fans will see and retweet and tweet out, but kind of just brings it back to, your homeboys and girls that you just grew up with rolling through. So, I kind of told him about CryptoPunks, and I'm like, yo, you should buy a CryptoPunk. It's $200. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm like Beskar. Beskar X is named after the body armor for Boba Fett. And I'm like, yo, you should buy a CryptoPunk. It's $200. These are like digital rookie cards, like of the blockchain. Like, what's this blockchain stuff you're talking about? CryptoNovo and when it got to like $1,000, like, yo, you should buy a CryptoPunk. $2,000, you should buy a CryptoPunk. But throughout that whole time, he was degenning with me and was able to take this information and really, use it in bringing the Web 2 world into the Web 3 world. So he's now, onboarding major brands into Web 3 access and blockchain technology. So back to the educator in me, I've been able to help him out, teaching him some tricks of the trade technology wise. But I mean, he's the guru in experimental technology, and he's the one that suggested I put on this AR filter and be Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse at the same time.
I love that. How many people do you think you've gotten into Web3?
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands.
Hey,
Holy smoke.
I worked at Vayner and Vayner NFT and then Vayner 3 after that. So onboarding was part of the job. 40,000 Twitter handlers at Vayner within the first, I think, year working there. And I was in charge of their social media. And for those of you listening at home, I didn't own my own computer up until 2 years ago, my entire life.
What?
Everything was done on a cell phone. Even when I went to college, to date myself, we had computer labs. You didn't have laptops. No one had a cell phone. You just...
Same with me. Yeah, computer labs. Hell yeah.
I mean, you want to go to a party, you put chalk on the ground saying, show up at this address at this time, and you gave $5 for a bottomless cup of beer if you're a beer drinker. And so it was a fast learning curve for me hopping in with Vayner, but I was able to show people kind of tricks of the trade. And the tricks of the trade started with CryptoPunks Discord, where it was like the first person who I spoke with there was Snowfro. And then it was like Pranksy, Tony Hedera, right down the list. And it's like, hey, how about you, these people from this company called Dapper Labs are going to try this NBA Top Shot out. Yeah, you want to try it out? I'm like, yeah, I know a lot about sports and collecting and cards. I'm all in. So they, you signed up and they gave you a whole bunch of packs. And I'm the type that doesn't open things. So I have a whole bunch of NBA Top Shot packs that are unopened. Like
the original packs?
You still have a bunch?
Yeah.
I have a bunch of packs too, but probably not.
50 or
nearly as
so,
many.
never opened or touched. I think I opened 3 packs.
Damn.
So do you have a lot of moments too where you mostly just bought packs and then just didn't open the moments? And just didn't open them?
I bought the moments at that time. It was, I got all the LeBrons and all the everything because I just figured.
Do you still have your account?
Yeah, I do.
What's your username?
CryptoNovo 311, straight on down the list. I have a 0.5% account in the world or something, something absurd.
So how did you get into NFTs and Web3?
My journey started in high school when .com era was going around. when it was, like, hey, computers.com, anything can go on there. And I'm like, well, how do you invest in this? Like, cool, this is great. And E-Trade was going around about, and I'm like, oh, this is on computer and you can buy stock on computers. So I'm like, why not just buy stock in a platform that is buying and selling stock? I'm figuring like this stocks go up and down. They're going to make money off these microtransactions, just like normal stockbroker. And I didn't know anything about stocks or anything at the time. I'm like, this sounds smart. So I asked mom and dad for $1,000, and we're a lower to middle class, blue collar family. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, like, what are you going to do with $1,000? Like, no, like, that's like probably like a couple mortgage payments. And I just explained it to them, and they're like, all right, well, that sounds good. So I got in a E-Trade. You needed $1,000 to get in, which kind of angered me. You couldn't just get in for $100. And then I bought stock in E-Trade and then sold it like a week later when it like doubled. And, my $1,000 paid my parents back their $1,000. And then I had $1,000 to kind of mingle with. And then I bought something called, I don't know if you guys ever heard about Apple stock. You guys ever heard of that? I bought it for $12 a share. Man,
I never heard of it. Is it like fruit? It's like a fruit company?
Oh yeah, man.
Right,
and the reason I bought it is because at the college I was at, they had all these the things that look like candy corns, whatever iMacs those were back in the day, or iComputers they were, but they look like candy corns. I'm like, well, I mean, these are now like kind of the new face of computer labs. So I bought that for $12 and I sold it for a whole $16. Yeah, and I paid off some books and made $400 off that transaction. All right, fast forward. Markets are cyclical. So when I start seeing like cryptocurrencies like going on, I'm like, all right, well, Coinbase seems like they're going to be formatting in the US. I'm like, this is exactly like E-Trade. Like, I'm just going to get on these cryptocurrencies. So you can get Ethereum and Bitcoin at the time, but like, how do you get these altcoins? Like, that's the thing. I want to get these altcoins before it turns into the .com phase, and you can, get them very easily. The normal folk can get them. And I figured out how to get Ripple XRP for under 3 cents, as a matter of fact. And then like 2 weeks later, it's just like, oh, and then it just like blew up, like how to get all this stuff, how to Uniswap it, how to find those exchanges, those DeFi exchanges. Once all that went down, then it kind of turned into like, what do you spend your Ethereum on? And I'm not saying like I had stacks of Ethereum. I was a teacher, and what I was doing is I was dollar cost averaging. Instead of, I live in Chicago, we play 16-inch softball, bare hand softball. And, you usually go out to the bars afterwards. I'm not a big drinker at all, but instead of tossing like $20 on the bar every Thursday after softball, I'm just going to buy $20 with Ethereum. So then dollar cost average every week, $20 in Ethereum, $20 in Ethereum. This was like when Ethereum was like $200-$300, and then it peaked up to I think like $1,200, and I sold it then, and then it dipped back down before the CryptoPunk phase went live in 2020. So it came down. So you're kind of like a little bit eating crap on the way down, but you're dollar cost averaging. But I was telling my friends the whole time, like, what, CryptoNovo, why aren't you drinking? They don't call me that, but why aren't you drinking? I'm like, I'm buying Ethereum. I'm buying like, you're an idiot. You're a fool. You're an idiot. So eventually, like, I don't know, I had maybe like 2 or 3 Ethereum. And then I started selling it at like, I'm like, guys, I'm selling it for $1,200 right now. Like, man, that's crazy. Like, you are like, and I sold it right there. So fast forward, how did I get into CryptoPunks? It's like, well, what are you going to spend your Ethereum on? You're not going to buy pizza with it. You're not going to spend your Satoshis on pizza. So I was talking with my athletic director, and he was savvy to cryptocurrency, and he got into Ethereum prior to me, a matter of fact, and Bitcoin prior to me. He's like, yo, my friend just sold this thing called a CryptoPunk, and he sold this ape for $30,000. And this was like, I don't know, maybe like early 2020, I think it was, maybe late 2019. And it was the first like real big thing that was popular on Twitter, or X as it's called nowadays. And it got like a lot of like tweets, and I was looking through them, and I saw like one, I don't know, maybe it came out later, but I just saw it as like the first digital rookie card, like the first thing that you can get that's like tangible, that's off of the blockchain, that you can actually own, something tangible, art. And I just thought it was like pretty cool. And I looked, and I I'm like, all right, well, these things are like $200. And I'm like, do I want to spend one of my 3 Ethereum on, one of these CryptoPunks, a third of, and I'm like, I don't know how you buy them or sell them. And then I just bought it. My first one was, let's see here, April 27th, 2020. It was CryptoPunk 2080. I wanted something that looked like a CryptoPunk. So crypto, like a vape at the time, seemed like futuristic, and a punk with the purple hair, like punk rocker. Skin color didn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me ever in anything. So, and it was 1 Ethereum, and I got it for, an Ethereum at the time was $196. And
that is early, dog. You were in there early.
That's it. And that's kind of how it started. That's the first CryptoPunk I bought, and then that slowly turned into.
This isn't the first CryptoPunk, so that was a different one?
No, the one that you're seeing in front of you is 3706. The first one I got was 2080. I diamond handed it until September 15th, 2021, where I sold it for 120 Ethereum or 427,000 doll hairs, purple doll hairs, because that's what the CryptoPunk.
All right. Very nice.
What did you end up doing with the profits?
Taxes. Yeah, you laugh.
Taxes. Damn.
Tough. A lot of it stayed within the ecosystem, but yeah, for the most part, taxes. I mean, that was pretty much, right around the peak of the market of it. But, prior to that, I mean, I wouldn't say I was flipping CryptoPunks prior to that, but I mean, I would sometimes take like a $300 or $400 profit on a CryptoPunk, because that was like a week's worth of work for me, like wages.
Course,
yeah, it was that, and man, that felt like forever ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. It's like that's the whole thing, is these markets are fast, cyclical, and they move quickly. So it's just the interest of who's involved with that. So then within that, like a lot of the trades, sometimes I'd do trades, and it'd be flat out trades, like 2 or 3 CryptoPunks for 2 or 3 CryptoPunks, just because you'd want maybe a certain attribute class, or or sometimes it would be involved with some other art too that that you'd maybe want to add or give it to someone else's collection. So a lot of that built the trust within the community, within the Discord, because at the time you're not sending like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of NFTs, but like you're able to like reach out to like Pranksy for say, and ask him if he would be willing to maybe sell an NFT that wasn't for sale, which he'd be generally just willing to negotiate and give you a good price on it. So it was cool doing that and seeing how all those beginning ladies and gentlemen that were in the Discord are the founding brothers and sisters of where we're making cool stuff. If it's art blocks, or if it's if whoever it is, I mean, they're really at the forefront of what this technology has offered towards making a new level playing field for people to express their art.
Yeah. And I'm like just staring at the background. It's just a slideshow of
derivative.
Like, is that art you created or other people? Like,
all right. So
derivatives of your CryptoPunk.
Behind me, for the people listening at home, is all of the art, 64 artists that helped save CryptoNovo. It is GoFund Novo, that is part of the Novo Art Show now, because these derivatives have been shown in galleries, digitally and physically throughout the world. And these help fund recover my CryptoPunk back. I guess we'll branch into that aspect of the story.
Yeah, I would love to hear about that. I just remember when like that came out, and we definitely talked about it on the pod, because it was like, oh my God, CryptoNovo like lost his punk, like, and it was such a big deal. And then after that, like the community coming together to basically help you raise funds to like get it back. I mean, I would love to hear the story from your perspective, and also kind of like mentally. I don't think I've talked to anybody that's gotten scammed. So like even mentally, like what was going on inside your head, like during that whole process as well.
One, if anything happens to you or anyone, like definitely talk to someone, especially someone who's been through it, because one, it helps talking, but two, make sure you know who you're talking to, because right after that, you're an easy target. So like, yeah, everyone trying to scam you instantly. But post scam, like some people reached out to me, friends, Franelation, got his 6 figures, almost 7 figures taken out of his wallet, I don't know, 5-6 weeks ago. And it's just like reaching out, letting them like know the same things. Like, you still got to eat, you still got to sleep, you still got to talk to people. Like, you can't go down a dark hole, like people always say you rebuild, but sometimes just getting on your feet is rebuilding. So just taking it easy and slow to begin with, because it was horribly devastating, like gut wrenching. Like, and I haven't lost a lot of people in life, like grandparents that have lived full lives. So I see it more of a celebration. So I'm extremely fortunate for that. I haven't had to grieve like that. So if people out there have those grieving things, you might relate in those aspects, but like more horribly in the sense of just, it could be life-changing for my family, having those if I had those assets still in my possession, and having them removed, it was more of like devastating more towards the family, but they didn't really know or fathom it at all. And then the other one is just like totally losing your identity. Like, this AR filter, I spent 2+ years in meetings, like every day staring at this filter, like not looking in the mirror. Like, think how often you really look in the mirror, maybe a couple minutes a day. But like this filter is like hours of Zoom meetings, like sometimes like 12, 18 hours a day in Zoom meetings with this, making content with it, editing the content of me in it, dressing like it, and then looking in the mirror and taking selfies like over and over again. So like, I can't use this anymore. Like, I'm not going to, dress up and go to a NFT show as someone else's CryptoPunk. Like, and then what I've been trying to build as far as, something maybe to pass on to generations. Like, I don't particularly care if my family members do or don't want to, use 3706 in the future, but it'd be nice to at least pass that asset on to them as part of what I've been trying to accomplish in the time I've spent grinding, trying to make a name for myself and helping others. Man, it was deep. And I sometimes compare it just to like that tauntaun getting just gutted open with the lightsaber. And it's just like unbelievably hard. And I didn't fundraise anything. The community did. I spoke with Beskar X, the same person I talked to earlier, or spoke about earlier, best friend since 3rd grade. And he just said the same things, like, you're going to get the CryptoPunk back. Just take a deep breath. Like, like, this sucks. This is horrible, but like, worse things will happen in life. Just we'll get through this together. But then, I don't know, maybe 12, 18 hours later, Spotty Wi-Fi called me. And Spotty Wi-Fi, there again, really good friend, OG since back in the day. He called me and I remember just sobbing, like, just like totally sobbing. And he probably couldn't even hear a word I said. He's like, yo, I just want your blessing. The community wants you to get your CryptoPunk back. We have a plan. I was like, whatever, sure. Like, yeah, I'm standing in a pile of my own, tears. Like whatever you can do, Spotty, please, and he's just like, all right, just want to have your blessing that, a couple members reached out and they want to get this thing. They're going to get this. We're going to get this back for you. Dario just pretty much spearheaded the spearheading of all fundraisers just to get the whole community. And it turned into, with Grateful 8, like a Jerry Lewis telethon, I think it was like 67 straight hours, just talking about the situation, talking about everything. And they asked for artists to submit derivatives of my CryptoPunk. And those derivatives would be then attached to tokens that would be distributed to people who donated towards the cause. And the cause was to buy my CryptoPunk back, which was in a wallet. And the person who bought, as soon as my stuff got bought, it just got purged right away on open market. A hoodie, 2 other punks, Bored Ape, Mutant Ape, Clone X's. It was life-changing, and stuff that's, not the CryptoPunks, but I minted and I held on to and I diamond handed and I had built up. Many people worked hard on it, but just as many people worked even harder to fundraise, get the voice out there and to fundraise. And within few days, they got enough funds to purchase the CryptoPunk back. And it was kind of crazy because it's just like almost an anonymous wallet that, just a couple members knew the keys to, and any one of them could have just drained that wallet and did whatever with that Ethereum that people donated towards it. And they're like, all right, well, what do we do? What do we do now? Like, how does this work? What do we buy? Who buys this CryptoPunk? And for me, from my aspect, from a tax aspect, like, I don't know, like, man, I had so much stuff going on at that time. Like my brain was going to, I don't know, implode. And so you just got to talk to people upon more people, legal people, finance people. And it just horrible, horrible, horrible mess. And it's more than just it getting taken. I mean, it takes up time, and then explaining it to family members, explaining it to like law enforcement, explaining it to FBI, plural. It's just crazy, and the bad apples in this space. Remember, everything lives on chain, and I never wish ill upon anyone, but like, man, the government knows where every single Satoshi is, where every single Ethereum is, right on down the list. So when it's time to cash out and you're in the wrong area at the wrong time, man, so what goes around comes around, which sucks, but each is their own. So, warning to those naysayers, but there's more positive people in the space than the naysayers that did what they do, because I know it for a fact. And it validates me still helping other people in the space and educating people in the space, because it shows that there's still a strong community there, especially for what I've done individually, because other people have been, had their wallets drained, famous people, and, no one blinks a lash at it, and no one responds to it, or they say too bad. But for whatever reason, and I maybe will attribute it to a little bit of hard work, is, the community fought to get it back for my family. And I'm grateful for the community members and all the people that did that.
It's the energy you put out there for these last couple of years, and it came back to you. All the positive vibes, all the positive energy, hugging all the people at the conferences, like you said, that's what came back to you.
It's the truth. And like in the green room before we hit record here, I mean, it's good seeing you guys. Like it is. Like I even said, Michael's one of the best huggers, in the space, and Andy confirmed it too. It's just like and you guys, when I give handshakes, like I'm interested in what's going on. I want to solve the problems. I want to find that connection of, hey, that person at that party was talking something similar, so why don't you reach out to them? I enjoy doing that. I enjoy building teams. I enjoy being part of this community. So different than a car club, if it's a muscle car club, you're talking SS engines or, GTOs or whatever it is. Or if it's, I don't know, a tassel hat knitting club, it doesn't matter. It's, if you're interested in the club, it's a club, and the community members in this club are awesome, outstanding people.
Hell yeah. All right. So where are we at? What do we got? I have some questions for you. Jenny was pausing there. And
I just didn't know if you were going to say something.
No, I can. Well, first of all, let me slow down, because thank you for talking about that whole situation and being so open about it. I know that, I mean, that's horrible. There's so many assets, and you really grow fond of them. I've thought many times, like the same thing. How would I tell my wife? I said it on here, like, if somebody took like my Bored Ape and 50 ETH or whatever, like, how would I, like, it would not be good. And we're all at risk of that pretty much all the time. Like, it's definitely very scary.
Needs to change if we're really going to onboard more and more people, I mean, that's the reality of it.
Yep. Has the FBI, did anything come from that, from talking to them, or they just want information?
They're smart people. They know a lot. They've asked not to speak further about it just because it's
okay. And you're on,
but like, it's kind of crazy that they call, and then they've said like, yeah, we know it happened. We've seen the filings that you've had.
They contacted you?
I believe there's something called, I want to look it up. I don't want to say the wrong thing on here. But yeah, they reached out to me, and there's something called an IC3 report. It's a IC3 complaint referral form, and it's through the FBI. And if you're a U.S. citizen, you can file the report. I forgot what the acronym stands for, but it's like for like cybersecurity type of fraud and crimes. And it was suggested to me through OpenSea, actually, to fill out file work with that. And then I also worked with my local law enforcement agency and filed claims with them. And they reached out to Cook County, which is Chicago, is the county I live in. And I'll tell you one thing on Chicago don't F around, man. So like, yeah, when I got a call back, I was just like, And it said like on the phone, it said like FBI, and I was actually just like dumbfounded. I was like, really? Like, get out of here! Like I thought.
I would right after getting scammed, you're probably like, all right, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's I guess another recommendation. It's something I told Franelation and a couple other people, like file the proper paperwork for it. Go through the police report for it, like have it documented, because like if they catch this guy and he's connected to all these other people, like, and you have the proper paperwork, or you can get something back possibly. I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
but
now, yeah, I mean,
if not,
you can see the assets. I mean, well, I guess they're all in random wallets now, probably, right?
Well, if not, yes, they are. They got distributed. Yeah. But here's the thing: those funds got
right.
Right. Thing. And those funds are used to make other illegal transactions, because that there's some type of gas fee when you're doing these types of transactions. But yeah,
see, wild.
Yeah, that's interesting. Damn, and it sucks because it's like that. The more like high valuable assets you accumulate, it's like the more you're targeted, and it's like the more that I mean. Is that, I definitely, I think about that all the time too. And it's like, damn, if you have valuable stuff, like you're being targeted so much more by scammers just trying to, like manipulate you. And there's so many different ways people get scams too. It's insane. Like there's just so much.
I'm actually walking around as well. So like, even IRL, like, I don't have my real phone on me, I've phone that I could just maybe put some tweets out, but like other stuff like that, I try to like be cognizant about, like same thing. Like I'm usually rolling with my Chicago friends who through thick and thin, I mean, these guys can roll, so like unfortunately, they don't stand down from anyone, because they're, sometimes knuckleheads like that, but they're best friends as well. But like, they understand that too. And they walk with me and they go into these parties and understand the situations, and like, like, all it takes is someone to try to pickpocket you, though they wouldn't get anything out of my pocket. But like, I am a standing walking target. But transversely, I'm trying to make a name for people in the space. I want other people to dress up like their NFTs, like very similar. I've been to the first couple Comic-Cons, back in the 90s, and, be the first people dressing there like Batman or Spider-Man, and then now everyone's doing it. So same thing is going to come to these NFT conventions more and more, or people are going to, be there promoting their own products, which have their NFTs on it, because they have ownership of it. And there's no better way to do it than storing it all on chain.
So true. Are you going to the Doodles event since you're in Chicago?
Yes, I am. Doodle aboard.
The grand opening, the 17th?
I don't have a Doodle, so I don't think I can get in grand opening, but I think the other days. But then again, sometimes you have privileges. Places dress up as CryptoNovo.
Yeah, you're a celebrity. Come on.
Yeah, sometimes that's helpful. And then another thing is, there's other people within, that community as well that, sometimes I'm their plus one. So they help me get in the.
Yeah, that's cool. I'd hope to see you there if you do go. But okay, so I also wanted to get into NFT events, because we were talking a lot about events, and I love that you were saying too, like, oh, you hope to see more people like dressing up with their, and I hope to see that too, like, I mean, or even just clothes, kind of, like for me, I have a jacket, I painted my doodle on it. It's like just even more like custom stuff to kind of be like, this is me, this is my online identity, and I'm this person in real life, like, because it is hard to tell who's who unless somebody has some type of signifier or something. But how many like NFTs do you think you've been to since you got into it?
Events?
Yeah. NFT events.
All the NFT NYCs, including London. So
oh snap.
Yeah, we were hanging in London.
London, that's right.
Yep.
That was 4. Miami twice, LA, and then I hit up
I saw you in LA also. We went to what was that gallery? Not Super Plastic.
Super Chiefs.
Super Chief, yeah. That was fun. That was
I got measured for a suit, or what do they call it? A suit. I got measured for a suit that we made physically for me that I wore on stage at Radio City Music Hall for NFT NYC. And then we also had that same suit in as my skin for Decentraland in the metaverse. And also back to the beginning of the show when we were talking about the decomposing art that People was displaying, we made a decomposed same suit get up for Decentraland as well for the Halloween party. So that's the things that we try to do in this space is try to, make things IRL in the metaverse. And then, all those things I usually just distribute to people. So if you're listening, just send me your MetaMask wallet and I'll send you a CryptoNovo Decentraland wearable. Just let me know if you want the regular suit or the zombie suit. It's the same suit. Yeah. When we were out in LA, I was getting fitted right there. It's crazy the life I've been living the last couple of years. Like it was like a live fitting there, and it was a Bored Ape Yacht Club documentary. They were filming a documentary there at the same time. So
wait, I want to.
Is that coming out? Is that still going?
I'm gonna message you first.
Yes, it is.
Cool.
And they are that same group. I believe that was Jason. I always say his last name wrong, like Helsinki. And he worked on a whole bunch of ESPN 30 for 30. I think he had like one about like foosball. Then he had another one that I forgot what the other one was. I don't want to misspeak about it. But yeah, he had some pretty good ESPN 30 for 30s. So yeah, he's hammering out the documentary of his Bored Ape and Bored Ape owners.
That's what's up. I got interviewed for that.
Sorry, I'm just messaging you so I can get a Decentraland suit.
Yeah, no, you're good. Let's go back to a little bit about what it was like working at Vayner 3, that whole thing. What were some of your favorite takeaways? What'd you learn?
I said no, I didn't want to work there because I was teaching, and I was I just started in the same district but at a year-round school, which was interesting, and kind of a lot of teachers preferred that. And Gary, actually, another CryptoPunk owner reached out to me. He's like, yeah, you have this meeting with Gary. I'm like, why? He's like, let's have this meeting, it'll be entertaining. I'm like, am I the entertainment? Is you just showing off this AR filter? Like, what's going on? And I talked to Gary, and he's just like, first of all, Mister, I forgot what he said. He's like, what do we call you? I was like, if you don't mind. It's like, yeah, all my friends just call me Novo. And even when I, call my wife's phone, it just says Novo on it. And she's like, all right, Novo, how did, tell me about yourself. How did you get into space? He was in a Tesla, talking on his phone, super nice, like totally connected, just like everyone else would say. And it's like, oh, we're building something here. Like, what are your thoughts? It's like, well, I'm like, I don't know much about the business world, and, thanks for your time, contact me later if anything more. Then his brother AJ contacted me like maybe the next day, maybe that night. It's just like, yeah, we're going to start something up over here. And, a lot about what's going on in this space. And, would you be interested? I'm like, really? Not really. I'm like, just no, like, I don't know much about, I liked what I was doing. So then he came back with me with a number. I'm like, well, this is a pretty healthy number, but I didn't tell him that. Obviously, I was going to negotiate. And I'm like, right now I have, a bunch of years of experience teaching, I have retirement, this, that, other thing. And he's just like, well, we really want to build, and, we can help you out with this type of a salary. And I'm like, well, like, what are the titles here? He's like, no one's going to have a title. We're just building something from new. And like, you know how to build. I have a master's in administrative leadership as well. So I could be a principal, athletic director, administrator, but I prefer being a physical education teacher because I'd rather play all day. And that's kind of my mindset behind it. I was a coach as well, have kids, and I'm just like, now I'm going to get in the business world. So I have to side hustle my CryptoNovo 311 personality, still coach, finish up teaching, or at least finish, figure out how to not get out of teaching, but quit teaching, and then also help this company. And I'm just like, well, listen, I'm like, I don't know fully about this. And I'm like, I can degen and teach you guys some things like later at night. He's just like, well, that's perfect because our president, soon to be president, is Avery Akinini. And I forgot where she was at the time, but somewhere in the Pacific Rim. And, she's just like, so like 9:00 Chicago time is like 9 a.m. her time. So I would just degen with her, and then eventually signed a contract and worked at Vayner NFT at the time. My first task was to be in charge of social media. which I actually said no to because I really wasn't that great of a speller and I didn't want to have wrong punctuation and this and that. And then after the weekend, I'm like, this is a great opportunity. So then I told her, I'm like, sure, I'll do it. And then I went into kind of like strategic partnerships where I just tried to match whatever these Web2 brands wanted to accomplish with the Web3 friends that I knew to accomplish those tasks. And it was a pretty cool marriage where I was able to bring a lot of my friends from the Web3 world. Keep in mind, like people I just probably met like 6-8 months prior, but I just saw they were making the coolest stuff 2 steps ahead. And it's like, hey, you should apply for this job. Hey, apply for this job. Hey, and really be able to give these Web2 companies really strong professional people that knew what the heck they were doing in the Web3 space. Now, if the final product didn't come out like that, like, I don't know, who knows? Like everything's not as it wants to be in the beginning phases of things, but at least was able to onboard, like you were saying, Jenny, is like how many people have been onboarded. I helped Budweiser. When I say I helped, our team helped bring Budweiser and Now Glasses to a Super Bowl commercial. Our team helped bring the Coinbase QRX bouncing around like the Office Space thing in the Super Bowl ad. We had we had 3 Super Bowl ads in 1 year, and that's like, 8 months after becoming a teacher or leaving teaching rather. US Open tennis was another thing where we set up QR codes so people would walk into US tennis and scan something and get an NFT. POAPs. I mean, how many people I've taught and learned about POAPs? I think Patricio, the owner of POAP, I think I was like his maybe 13th or 14th follower. And like same with him, like he was like, we were early followers. I'm like, what, a free NFT? How do I get this? This is excellent. The coolest thing I've ever seen. Because I didn't want to pay those gas fees. And back at the time, gas fees were probably like $8. That contract ended at the beginning of this current year that we're speaking of. I was grateful for the time. The people there were, man, some of the smartest, hardworking people. I mean, we grinded. Being in charge of a social media, like you never slept. Like, like, did you see this tweet? You have to retweet this or this or that or this or that. Or what about this and this and this? And like, and I learned a lot and, I enjoyed it. But at the same time, I was juggling a ton too, because at the same time, I had to do my side hustle to keep up my regular job because my side hustle was learning all that new information. And I was broadcasting like you guys, what are you guys like on 170 episodes just about? But that's how you gain your alpha. You talk to these NFT projects, you see the cool people, you know what they're talking about. You see the teams they're working with, you see their passion behind it. You see if, this alien ape and zombie is worth investing in. So like you guys are doing your due diligence. You don't even realize it, but then you're able to come to conclusions of what you want to do next in the space. But those things is what I was passing on to people that had no idea about Web3, but they know how to work multi-million, if not billion-dollar companies. And to have them understand that this could be systematic change for your company was important for me and for us to have them understand, and a lot of them didn't want to make money off of it. They just wanted to give something to their customers, and like kind of like what's cheaper than a digital asset. If you think about it, like, it's cheaper than sending them a t-shirt because you're going to pay $15 in shipping anyways. You might as well just put on a layer 2 and shipping's free.
So what do you do now? Did you go back to teaching? Like, are you just full-time in the NFT space?
It's crazy and funny you ask that because Wednesday, I will be going back into the classroom teaching. And I got asked by a outstanding school to teach there. The school is 5 years young, and that means it was just built 5 years ago, and it looks like an Apple flagship store. I mean, this is like a mint condition school. It's a school with it's its own district, which in Chicago is kind of rare. Usually disperse money amongst districts. It's a melting pot district. I mean, the demographics on it are like, 10% a piece all the way down the board, which I like and enjoy because that just adds to the, I just like seeing different things. I've always liked seeing different things. Never been able to really dress or be that way, probably a little bit more conservative around my family growing up, but like, maybe that's why I'm branching out now, dressing like my crypto punk. But, it's, I enjoy seeing those things. So the last 6 months, trying to build my brand as best as I can, but with financial, it'd be nice to say like, yeah, I can just sit back on this CryptoPunk hoodie that I was just gonna, have as something that if you needed to sell, you could sell, but that got stolen from me. So now I don't have that as a luxury to sit back on. I've been trying to make a name for myself within the space, and it doesn't pay the bills. I'll tell you that right now, and you guys probably well know that. To find a sponsor and this and that takes a lot of hard work. But the thing of it is it's going to keep on going on. It's still a part of me. It's still something that I'm going to help contribute towards, and I can't pass up on opportunities like this because a lot can change in 2 or 3 years in the next cycle and things swing back the other way. So right now, that's what life has brought to me. And, the last 6 months was a time to reflect and build, but to recover. I mean, it's pretty much just resetting what happened financially, which is, a huge change because I don't have a financial background, and, I didn't really spend anything outside my means at all on anything. Everything was kept within NFTs and in Ethereum. And right now, how legislation works, IRS works, there's really no huge regularity in it. So you just got to find the best path moving forward through all of that. And sometimes finding those paths are expensive at times, talking to the right people. So
yeah. Well, I'm rooting for you, and I hope that you continue, going to events, and I mean, I'm sure you're still on Twitter, still side hustling with CryptoNovo brand and all that, like even though you'll be teaching again. And yeah, hopefully we get another bull run of NFTs, but we'll see.
There will be some CryptoNovo stuff coming out, which will be able to help support the side hustle and the travels. Because I've had a lot of people like, hey, I would love to go to Hong Kong, and if things were as they were back in the prior to getting stuff taken from me, I would have probably taken my own personal money and gone out to Hong Kong and spread the word and sit there and shake hands and talk to people. And like, I have looked around for sponsorship in different grants to see if people would fund for me to go to these places, but people don't pay for me to go to parties, but see if it's there, see if it's an availability. So I don't mind asking for that, but that's what I'm going to try to do is, try to keep that funding of Web3 NFTs within that side hustle aspect, so then I can go to these events, so I can say hi to people, so I can support other people or buy cool art, or make a name for myself or upgrade equipment. So as we all know, a lot of the money we make in this ecosystem stays in this ecosystem. That's what's great about it.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to actually take profits. you actually sell something, and then you just want to buy more NFTs, and it's just a never-ending cycle. But yeah, I hope to see you maybe at the Doodles event in Chicago. We'll see. But yeah, Michael, do you have any last-minute questions before our final segment?
No, I think I got through all the questions. Really interesting stuff, though, man. I love hearing your story. I love how open you are about everything that happened, and your journey. It's really unique. You're really unique. You put a lot of heart into it, and I'm the same. I'm rooting for you. I would love to see a lot of that stuff come back to you. You're the rightful owner still. It's still your stuff, no matter where it is now. You're a good dude. I really do hope to see you at some of these events, like Jenny said. Maybe Art Basel. You're not coming to the Apes stuff later this month, are you, in Miami? Then you
can't, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially getting right back to school. I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's tough, but that's tough, and it's real. And
of course,
as real as it is with this, I don't want to say the stories I tell, but the life I've lived, because people relate to it, and if not, people might come across it. But there is ups and downs, and if it wasn't for friends in the Web3 space, so, one, you wouldn't be listening to me, but two, I want to be having fun. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
I'm continuing to have fun. As soon as I don't have fun, then you won't see me that much. So
I hear that, brother.
All right, cool. So let's jump into our last segment here, which is the Gas War segment, where we're going to be each asking you 5 rapid fire questions that may or may not have to do with Web3. All right, I will go first. My first question is, are you an early bird or a night owl?
I was at the flea market at 4 a.m. yesterday morning, every Sunday morning in Chicago. Yes.
Oh my God.
What did I pull yesterday? Oh, we got some good stuff yesterday. Sports Illustrated Kids issue #1, Michael Jordan, where he's palming the ball with the kid holding onto it with all 9 collectible cards.
You found that in Chicago?
Of course, with Chicago. Yeah,
well, I'm saying that would get eaten up. You would think that's a wild
but
find.
there's tons of
He
Chicago
was there
stuff
at 4
in there.
a.m. That was why.
Right.
Morning. I think
Oh my
those
god.
are going for $200-300. Got them for a piece, and then all the collectible cards in there. We knew that, but we're collectors. Me and my best friend from kindergarten, different friend, lives a mile away from me. Same thing. All right,
Wow.
I like that one. That was a good one.
All right. What's the best pizza in Chicago?
Pequod's Pizza. It's
I know Pequod's.
Actually, maybe I have my notes here. Maybe I'll drive a Pequod's down to Jenny at the Doodles. Pequod.
Oh damn!
But I will be
Drive a
smelling
what?
like
It's a pizza. Jenny's
drive me
vegan,
to
though. Jenny's
yeah,
vegan.
I'm
You better be a little
sorry
careful.
to
Vegan?
break your. Yeah, I'm vegan.
well, and maybe I can have them make a vegan pizza for you.
I mean, shit, I'll take it.
Pequod's Pizza in Des Plaines, Chicago. It's a small place. You have to go there. You have to order. You have to wait, but it's worth the wait. So yeah, Pequod's Pizza. Illuminati is a strong second.
That
What was the most unique pet that you've owned?
Unique pet.
Yeah.
My sister owned a rabbit. Its name was Slippers. Kind of a bad name for a rabbit, because maybe if it dies, it turns into a pair of slippers. That was the joke. We had a cat. All right. Well, yeah, this cat, it got ran over by a car, and it clawed its way back to our house, like Terminator style. And this was like in the 80s.
Oh my god!
And my dad scooped it up, brought it to the vet super early in the morning to pretty much just like put it out of its misery, I guess. I don't know. And it was one of the, I guess this cat, they put a prosthetic hip in the cat, and the thing ended up living like 5 or 6 more years. So it was just like, we're on your cat,
Wow.
like Frankenstein type stuff. Yeah, it was like one of the first type of transplants like that. And I don't even know if it's a synthetic one or you took it off of another dead animal. I have no idea. I'm joking on that, but I'm a cat lover and a dog lover and an animal lover in all these regards. So yeah, a bionic cat, I guess. We'll leave it at that.
Nice. All right.
None of that Stephen King stuff, none of that Pet Cemetery. It was a good cat.
What's your favorite museum?
Favorite museum on that Art Space Chicago. That one's pretty. I like that one. I've been there probably almost the most because I just go anytime they have like a pretty good party.
Art Space Chicago.
I'm not Art Chicago. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I'm not Art Chicago.
Nice.
I'm writing this down because I love museums.
Yeah, I'm not Art Chicago. It's a Web3 art gallery. Say hi to Matt there. I have
sweet.
I have a CryptoPunk derivative there of Legos. Someone made some derivative Legos. Actually, one was of 2080, the CryptoPunk we talked about, my first CryptoPunk. And he made an NFT, minted it, and then he sent you the physical of it. And I donated that to On That Art.
All right. Next question. What is one of your hobbies?
Hobbies, I like collecting. So that's why we go to the flea markets. We know of a guy, I'm not going to give away all my tricks to the trade, but he bought a comic book shop and he just pulls out long boxes and he tosses it out there and he charges $1 a piece for them. So that comic book shop was one that we used to go to back in the day. We know when it closed, so we know what era the comic books are from. So comic book collecting, but that's the thing is like we really only sell things to support the habits. I guess that's the problem with CryptoPunks. I'd sell CryptoPunks to buy CryptoPunks that I would try to level up, try to get those hoodies, try to get those zombies. Never got there. But try to level up, but, camaraderie with friends while doing it. So, anything that you collect it with friends. And if it's collecting memories, going to movies or, creating TikToks, like TikTok videos, cool. Like that wasn't me back in the day by all means, but like that's what people do nowadays. Go for it, kids. I love that. Use that expressive energy.
Nice.
Yeah, hell yeah. If you could be a guest on any TV show, what would it be?
Conan O'Brien. And I'd love to do the penguin dance where he lifts up his hips. Conan O'Brien, he's made me laugh. He's a funny guy. I loved his writing from The Simpsons back in the day.
Yep.
Unless I could be on The Simpsons. I mean, that would be a no-brainer. But yeah, probably Conan O'Brien.
They could put you as CryptoNovo as the punk on The Simpsons. That would be
Fire
Insane.
or SNL. If I'm big enough in SNL story,
You host it with the AR filter. Yeah.
I'll make sure you're in the front. We'll do a skit and you'll be in it when you want to pick your favorite character.
Cool.
Either down by the river, you could be Chris Farley, you could fall on the thing.
That I could do.
Let's go.
Yamo, Chris Farley.
Yeah, we can do all that. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Keep the questions coming. I know that's more than 5. Keep them coming if you want. I'm enjoying it.
We're doing 5 each. We're doing 5 each.
Yeah,
all right,
5
cool.
each.
Yeah.
What was your dream job as a kid?
Being a gym teacher. Bingo.
Hey,
Go for your-
you
How would you not want to play all day?
Ding,
True.
ding, ding.
I
used to love. I had an amazing gym teacher in elementary school. We used to have leagues after school. He would keep the statistics, like goals and assists and stuff. It was amazing. It was awesome.
Kept you going. That's life. Yeah.
Still remember it. Still remember it. Of all the NFT conferences you have been to, which one was your favorite?
Oh man. Woo. Never been overseas, so like London was pretty dope.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't know I took off my CryptoPunk stuff and just walked around. A lot of people that had no idea I was walking around.
Yeah, they wouldn't have.
And man, probably like being on stage at Radio City Music Hall and like getting spotty Wi-Fi on stage. Getting RX on stage, getting JR Token on, getting my friends on stage at Radio City Music Hall.
JRR Token.
Yeah, he's another one. Yep, JR Token. He's another one that's I introduced.
Oh, Token, not the. I don't. Okay, I'm not the writer, obviously.
No, not that writer.
Yeah, the Token, not
the
Token.
planned words, right?
I'm with you. I'm with you. Like
getting them on stage because they are the people that are forging the Web3 space. They were either intelligent or dumb enough to listen to me when I was just kind of preaching this. But they all individually have helped me dramatically get to where I'm at. So that was my way of giving them the notoriety that they deserve, and the people behind the scenes that do a lot of stuff for a lot of people, that put on the AR filters for me, that make cool music, that, you know, tell me to buy these metaverse pigeons from Stapleverse for $1 a piece that turn into 18 clones later. Like, it's just
I know,
goes on and on.
I bought MetaPigeon. I got the second one. I had MetaPigeon number 2 because I was a ticket broker, and that was on Bitsky, right? Wasn't remember that? I remember it very well.
It's the only way
it went on sale. Yeah, and you had to buy it in like 5 seconds, and you had to be refresh. I was so fast. I got Staple Pigeon number 2. I had no idea what I had, though. I sold it, I think, for like 1.5 ETH or something. Like, I gave it away. Such a shame. Such a shame.
All right, but we live and learn, and
yeah.
you know,
live and learn. I also sold a Fidenza for $0.25 ETH.
Well, I had John and Matt ask me, or get mini regret, and I think I have it on Discord. I might have shared it with Punk's book, but they're like, "Hey, CryptoNovo, like, we're not shilling this, but would you be interested in one of these autoglyphs?" I'm like, "Not my. And I think it was just like an ETH or 2, you know, but like,
oh man,
I mean, like more money than I had in all my bank at the time.
Yeah, and autoglyph is like the grail, really. Like,
yeah,
autoglyphs are.
They offer.
That'd be a nice one. Yeah. All right, Jenny's question. Sorry,
Anyway,
Jenny's number 5.
All right. Why? Wait, where was the one I was going to ask? Oh, yeah. What's something you're great at cooking?
Good at cooking. I cook all the meals up in this.
Really?
Ribs. Mean ribs. And in a grill, I can cook it anytime. You know, you can put it on a stovetop, in an oven, a gas grill, but I have charcoal grill, ribs. Man.
Wow.
Nice.
Bell peppers in there so it doesn't stick to the foil. Yeah. I gotta cook myself some ribs. I'd probably say that.
I've been making ribs on my new pellet smoker recently. I got a pellet grill.
I'm gonna have to come out.
It's a beast. Yeah, you do. You got to come to Miami, bro. All right. My final question. What is the craziest conspiracy theory that you actually believe?
Craziest conspiracy? Well, would it be a conspiracy if I believed in it, right?
Well, the people consider it a conspiracy theory.
Aliens are among us.
Sure.
Like, you know, they're probably smart enough to camouflage within different scenarios, even if it's in other humans or travel. Like, all the stuff we're seeing, like in these, right now in the news and stuff, there's probably more highly advanced people that probably don't even want to mess with us because they're probably just inferior life forms. But I don't know. I like to believe that. I think it's cool to believe in that type of stuff and kind of keep an eye over your shoulder at times. No, my son was watching Men in Black today, so maybe I'm going down there.
That's fine. No. We talk about in our friend group, me and Andy, we talk about alien stuff all the time. We love it. So
we always grew up talking about aliens.
Yeah.
Not so much zombies, but aliens and apes. Aliens and zombies, not so much apes there. I said that. Oh.
Love it, dog. What a pleasure having you on, man. It's been too long. I'm really glad you came on and we set this up.
I forgot I was on your show. I thought we were just catching up. Totally forgot.
Yeah, I know, really. No doubt.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, CryptoNovo. We have talked about you a lot on the show, so it is nice to finally have you on and to be able to chat with you. I've learned a lot about you today, so this was really great.
Totally.
Knowledge is power, and I just want to say to everyone out there, stay positive and love life. A lot of bad things can happen no matter what. Put on this podcast. Listen to, a podcast you haven't heard before. Listen to NFT catchers. Go out for a walk. Talk to someone. Doesn't matter, even if it's through DM, because life sucks, but you know what? Life's awesome. Life's awesome more than it sucks, too. There's better people out there than the negative people that might be getting in your way. So I say stay positive and love life.
That's a really good point. Let me go right on top of that, because you said some really good things there. And Jenny and I, we get messages from people in this community all the time, people that listen to our show. If anybody is ever wants a friend who just wants to talk, send me a DM on Twitter. I'm always happy to talk to anybody. I talk to everyone from the show that sends us messages. If you're one of those people that CryptoNovo is talking about that needs someone to talk to, I'm definitely here to talk.
Me too.
I might have done a lot of talking today, but I'm a better listener. I know I deal with students, hundreds of them at a time, and they all want to say something, and it's important that I listen to them because I might be the only person they talk to all day. Mom and dad might be busy, brother and sister might be older. They might be dealing with something horrible at home, and for me just to listen and give them a fist pump and say good job, even though they might be shooting at the wrong hoop or whatever may happening, it's the small things add up to the big picture, because one of those kids are going to take care of me. They might be my doctor later in life, or they might be teaching my own kids. I don't know. So what goes around comes around.
100%. Okay, well, thank you all so much for tuning into this episode of the NFT Catcher podcast, and we will catch you in the next one. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the NFT Catcher podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something new about the exciting world of NFTs. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you really love what you're hearing, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite platform. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news and insights from the NFT space, be sure to follow us on all the socials at NFT Catcher Pod. You can follow Jennifer at Jennifer_pseudo and Michael at NFTicket. I'm your producer, Andy, and I'm at AJC254. Our theme song's by It's Just Los. We always appreciate your feedback and support, which helps us reach more people and bring you informative and engaging content about NFTs. We look forward to bringing you more great NFT content in future episodes. Thanks for listening. Peace.